What is a minute meal? Actually, it's portions. What I do is when I'm going to do cooking or when I'm going to prepare vegetables, I put a lot of portions in the freezer so that when it comes to mealtime, all I have to do is pick out 3 portions. They're ready to go. I just have to heat them up in the microwave. I can go from freezer to plate in about 5 or 6 minutes, and that's a complete, well-balanced meal. Protein, 2 vegetables. I'm going to actually demonstrate that in a little bit. I've got a stopwatch. We're going to actually do this in real time and time it from freezer to plate of hot food. Why minute meals? A couple of reasons why. One is I found that if I want a nice plate of food, I need to heat up and cook a protein source. That's one pan on the stove, a skillet. I like a high carb vegetable like corn or mashed potatoes, brown rice. That's a second pan. And I also like on my plate a nutrient dense vegetable, a green vegetable. Peas, broccoli, green beans, that's a third pan. Add to that cooking utensils, your plate, knife and fork, a drinking glass. I found that I was doing a lot of prep work, spending more time doing that than I was enjoying my meal. And then at the end of my meal, I had to face a sink full of dirty pots and pans and my dishes and so forth. For 1 or 2 people, it just seemed like a lot of work. A second reason was I was trying to come up with a system for carrying food to work so that I could enjoy a hot meal at work very easily and very quickly, because who wants to eat a sandwich every day, a cold sandwich or a cold salad? Now, I know many of you are thinking persons, and maybe you're already seeing some potential advantages here. Let's face it, many of us are busy people. We fill our afternoons or our evenings with activities that we might personally enjoy or things that we might do with our families. Maybe there isn't a lot of time for meals. So what do? You call from the office, you order a pizza to pick up on the way home, or maybe you stop at McDonald's or Kentucky Fried Chicken. You get yourself fed, but is it the best nutrition? Possibly not. Here's another consideration. Some of us are primary care providers. We help take care of an elderly parent or other relative. We need to get them fed. What if we could stock their freezer with minute meal portions? If they're not too disabled, maybe they can heat their own meals, get themselves fed. If they are very disabled so that they can't do it themselves, with minute meals you could get them fed very quickly. Cleanup is very quick, gives you more time to visit with them. Yet another advantage. I'm going to admit something. Early last year, my peak weight was 233 pounds. I'm 168 pounds right now. I've lost 65 pounds. One of the ways I did it, besides self-control and increasing my activities, is through these minute meals, because they're controlled portions of balanced nutrition. I follow the USDA guidelines, 3 ounces of a protein source. I use 4 ounces each of 2 vegetables, 1 high carb, 1 nutrient dense. This is how I eat every day. And by having controlled portions like that, there's no seconds or thirds to go back to for another plate of food. I get my 1 plate of food. It's the right nutrition. I feel satisfied. I feel fed. It's really helped me to lose a lot of weight. I do want to say that there are times when there is a lot of work involved. You have to cook the food in the first place. But the way I look at it is, if I'm going to cook, why not cook big, really big, and then put all the extra food up as portions for my minute meals? For example, if I'm going to roast 1 chicken, why not roast 4? They're sold in pairs at Costco. When I do my pesto lamb, do 2 legs of lamb. When I do my Tuscan meatloaf, and these recipes, by the way, are on my website. When I do Tuscan meatloaf, I'll do 4 rather than 1 meatloaf. Buying vegetables, frozen vegetables, rather than buying a little bag of frozen vegetables, I get the biggest bags I can find, 4 and 5 pounds, then portion those down. I spend a lot of time one day every once in a while doing this kind of work. But then I don't have to cook again for weeks. And literally, I'm being honest with you, I can go sometimes weeks without doing any cooking at all. If I do some cooking, I might saute a piece of fish because I like to have my fish fresh cooked rather than reheated from the freezer. But that's it. The rest of the time, it's just heat things in the microwave in minutes, enjoy my plate of food, have very little cleanup to do, not a lot of cooking. I said I was going to do a demonstration using my stopwatch. I'm going to time how long it takes me to go from frozen food in the freezer to a plate of hot food ready to eat. And I'm only going to stop the stopwatch one time, and that's when I have to adjust the camera so that you can see the food going onto the plate. Are you ready? I'm going. And let's see. I want some chicken. So here's my chicken, some corn, some peas. I'm going to snip each bag so that I can vent steam. A little pair of scissors here. And these are now ready to go into the microwave. My microwave is down here under my counter. It saves me space on the counter. It's in the microwave. And it's set for 4 minutes. Okay. While my food is going, let me explain a few things. I'm going to talk about what's going to be in some of these future lessons. For one, I'm going to talk about the equipment and supplies you'll need. There's really only two. You need an impulse heat sealer and you need poly tubing. Both are available on Amazon. Other places sell them, but I find that Amazon has the best prices. That's where I bought mine. I'm going to show you some of the foods that I prepare. Some of the foods I cook. I mentioned about roast chicken and pesto lamb. I'll give you some recipes for those. I'm going to show you some of the pre-cooked foods you can buy. For example, if you don't want to do your own cooking, you don't have to. I buy the rotisserie chickens that are already cooked that they sell at Costco. I just simply debone the chickens, put the food away in the freezer. I don't have to do any cooking at all when I do that. I'm going to show you how I portion fresh fish because, as I mentioned, I don't like fish cooked and then frozen and then heated up later on. I prefer my fish cooked fresh. So I cut it up, store it a certain way so that it'll freeze nicely, and then when I want to have fish, I'll thaw it either quickly in a dish of warm or a sink of warm water, or if I think early enough, I'll put it in the refrigerator early in the day so it'll be thawed by the end of the day, and then I can saute it. One pan is not going to make a lot of work. Also, I'm going to give you some lessons on how I prepare and store things like soups and stews, because in the winter time I really enjoy eating soups and stews, so I put up a lot of those. I'm going to show you my pasta fagioli, for example, and I'll show you my Texas chili. Oh, I love Texas chili. And then I'm going to show you some tricks, ways that you can, for example, seal foods to keep the bugs out. If you use just, say, part of a package of pecans, how do you seal that package when you store it so the bugs don't get into it? I'm going to show you some tricks for doing that. Got 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Okay, let's talk about something else. The value of nutrition. There was an article that was published recently, a medical article that showed that people who ate balanced nutrition had better moods, less of a problem with depression. And I've had depression, serious depression at times in the past. But I find that if I get enough vegetables, my depression is gone. I'm not going to guarantee that yours will be gone if you feel depression, but I find that my mood is increased. It's improved when I get the nutrition that I need. I heard from a licensed nutritionist, a dietitian. She saw my Lazy Man meals back then, my minute meals on my website, and she said, I just want to tell you, This is the kind of eating that we recommend for our clients or our patients. This is good nutrition. This, how am I on time? I'm down to 35 seconds. This is also a good way of being economical. If you can buy in bulk, 5-pound bag of vegetables rather than a 1-pound bag, you can save some money. I do most of my shopping at Costco. I buy in big portions, big bags, but then I can separate it down into small portions to put it in the freezer, and I can save a lot of money that way. By cooking in bulk and buying in bulk, you can really cut down your food budget a lot and save some money. There's my dinner done. Okay, there they are. You can hear them sizzling. They're cooking in there. I'm going to stop the camera so you can see me plating this. Starting my stopwatch again. Here's my corn. Put that on my plate. Peas. Oh, this smells good already. Put that on my plate. And then this is a mixed portion of some light meat and some dark meat, and this is actually that rotisserie chicken sold at Costco. There it is. Hopefully you can see that. It's 5 minutes, 29 seconds. In less than 5.5 minutes, I have a plate of food there, hot, ready to eat. You can garnish that any which way you like. I don't like butter on my vegetables. I like Butter Buds. It's 0 fat, 0 cholesterol, low sodium. I sprinkle a lot on there. But you can garnish things any which way you want. I find that the chicken doesn't need any salt. And I want to show you one other advantage here. This is all that's going into the trash. I want you to see a photograph here that I took of my neighbor's trash. This amuses me, but it also kind of scares me a little bit because this is how much trash is going into our landfill every week. That trash there is what they put out every week. Now, I want to show you my trash. This is 1 week's worth of trash. 1 bag. And most of this is paper plates and paper bowls, actually, because I use paper bowls and paper plates sometimes as it's kind of a disposable cutting board, and some paper towels, because most of the time this is all I'm putting in my trash. Just some little plastic empty packets from my minute meals. So there is your introduction to my minute meals. You see the advantages from freezer to a plate of hot food ready to eat in 5.5 minutes. Whether you need to feed yourself quickly because you live a busy lifestyle, or whether you're the primary care provider for someone who needs meals prepared for them, there's a lot of convenience here. Very little washing up. I ate that plate of food. I took a little break and had an early lunch, and I've already done my dishes, a plate and a fork. That's simple. So hopefully you'll stick around for the remaining lessons because I have a lot more to show you.